Well, hello everyone. Welcome in. I'm going to check the sound. Come on in, guys. Come on in. There we go. Welcome in, everyone. Back to the channel Instructions for Humanity, Sphere of Consciousness. Hopefully, you guys are receiving the notifications. I will see if you are receiving the notifications, and maybe it might take you a moment to come on in, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Keely, welcome in. Welcome in, my friend. Sister Gail, welcome in. I am so happy to be back here. Finally, the notification. We're going to get these notifications working, right? Well, guys, just go ahead and come in. I'm going to take care of a few things on my end, and we're just going to chit chat while we're waiting on some more people to enter into the space. This is going to be kind of like a cosmic little update. Might go into a little bit of a world reading. Just going to express to you guys a few things that, just popping up within my own sphere of awareness. And yeah, so we're going to get started here in a moment, everyone. Come on in. Come on in. All right, guys. I hope everyone had a good weekend or is having a good weekend. This is Easter, and I think we might need to, I think I need to look back on something that I said would be happening around Easter time and just do a check to see what. Wow, this is kind of scary. I'm going to hold that back, but I want to give an update on what's happening with Charlie Kirk, because we said that, well, not we, I channeled that, it felt as if they wanted to partake in part of his brain around this time, around Easter time, Passover, around this time. I didn't come on here to do this kind of video, but, that's kind of something that I feel that is strongly popping up for me right now in this moment. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look into that as well, guys. So come on in, come on in. When you come in, please help this channel grow. There's over 1,000 videos on this channel. I've definitely been putting in the work. I've been showing up for you guys. I give you guys teachings, guys. This sorts of things you will not find here on YouTube, because it's all channeled from source. So yes, when we're in a 2-hour live. Part of that is source coming through my entire body and vessel. It just picks up the source vibration and it computes it so that you guys can have this, this consciousness, these quantum drips that source likes to give out, right? This is true divine information. And so these are things that I hope you do like and respect. So please, guys, I put my heart, my soul, my passion, my embodiment is in this work that I do. I am the same person as I am here, as I am off of this channel. My sister said to me, when are you going to start eating so we can go to lunch? I said, I'm not. And I don't mean I'll never start eating again. Obviously, I'll be eating. But I'm not here for that. I'm who I say that I am. Do we get off track sometimes? Yes. But when I come here, this is the journey. When I'm off of here, I'm doing the journey. I am doing the thing, because fully embodying it, this is true healing, guys. I'm pumped up today. So I think we will kind of take a look into what is happening with Charlie Kirk. But give me 1 second. 1 second, guys. I'm just pumped up. One second, everyone. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. Like the video and subscribe to the channel, guys. All right. All right, everyone. All right, I hope that you've gotten the notifications. I had to get a few things squared away on my end. And I just want to flow into the happiness that I am experiencing in this moment. But I do want to officially go ahead and say welcome in to the channel and to this vibration, everyone. I am Tahirah, Mother of the Ages. I am a supernatural quantum telepathic energy healer. I'm the creator of the quantum telepathic healing modalities, a clinical hypnotherapist by trade, specializing in past life regression therapy, where I lead your soul to the event to find out where this particular loop, pattern, or cycle came from. You can take this, plug this in into your entire healing journey, and you will make a lot more headway than going in this thing blind. Okay. Guys, there's so much happening within my sphere, within my auric field. There's a lot of new energies entering in, a lot of new business opportunities coming in. Guys, I'm staying open and I'm staying in flow. And I've been, right now I've been over how many days? Over 90 days. It's almost 100 days on my juice, cleanse, right? And I've been going to the colon hydrotherapist as well. I will have her on this channel as well, because we will be working together in some capacity coming up here. And, I think I've done 4 sessions already. I've just now begun to scratch the surface. I am telling you, there is things coming up from the gut where there's a deep healing happening, but it's because my soul is ready for it. It's because now is the time. And not only am I healing myself, but I hold collective energy. I believe that the things that are being revealed is what the collective need to know on a cellular DNA level, and is going to be big. And I did not come on here. We will get to Charlie Kirk. Yes, but see, guys, I'm a teacher first. I'm a spiritual teacher. So I have to teach as I receive guidance from the divine. Right now, if you have the book, The Great Expansion, A Cosmic Bible for the Ages, that's the book that I channel with source energy. The link is down below. You pick it up on Amazon. But the whole point is this. There is a particular 2 chakras that the collective humanity is working through right now. One of those chakras is the sacral chakra, right? And Source gives us the actual frequency in the book that we need to actually be listening to infuse the energy that Source has for us into that space to go ahead and bring healing and restoration, not just to yourself here, but for your entire soul line and lineage and throughout the ages. So this is a big clearing that is happening. I was always going to do this at this specified period of time. I was always going to be, juice cleansing at this time. It all lines up. Today's week 4 in the quantum telepathic healing and psychic development course that I teach. And today it's all about the quantum healing essentials, organs and nerves. We did a deep dive into the different parts of the brain, into the hippocampus, the thalamus, the neocortex, the cerebrum, right brain, left brain, a deep dive. And what we're finding is that all of these things are connected. So if you want to go on your healing journey, you have to embody it in a full way. You cannot be cut off from any part of your anatomy. And these things that people said, oh, they're just chakras. It's not real. It's pseudoscience. No, it is in fact a little micro markup of what this entire part of the universe looks like, which looks like a vortex in a channel or a triangle. It has an ascending energy up, right? This is how we get the what we call God. It's this ascending energy that just crescendos at a point and then it falls down in a frequency. This is how we get the bandwidth of frequency that I speak of, which is the God polarity and the Satan polarity. Once that energy returns back to 0 point, what stabilizes everything is the divine mother or Holy Spirit, right? And that stabilizes everything unto a time where the energy is birthed again from the spirit waters of the divine feminine, right? So your chakras are tiny little vortexes of that energy. So your chakras have God energy, they have Christ energy, it has Satan energy, and it has Mother energy, Holy Spirit energy. It has all of that. The tool is this: how do we hold the vibration of the Christ light rather than being dipped down and kind of collude it and cement it into the traumas of, with the Satan vibration? All we're looking at is frequencies here, right? And so your chakras are those little micro versions of, this universal spirit, which is coded like a vortex. And I call it a vortex of love, right? And so, the sacral chakra is very important because this is how we birth, right? We are going through a birthing period right now. I didn't come on here to teach, but this is just what I have to do, It's what I have to do. So we're going through a birthing period, so we have to activate that. So cleansing out of the gut is paramount, guys. There are things that Source wants to give to you right now. There is business ideas. There is, new partnerships, new friendships that wants to come in for you, but no, Source is saying they want to come in from you. You already possess these things. There is no lack in the code of your creation. Are you ready for yourself? It's always you waiting on you. And I feel very empowered in this moment because I'm just so freaking happy with how all of my students are doing. Like, you guys don't know how much I just get so much joy out of doing this work, especially when I'm teaching. I get so much joy to see you guys sprout. Is beautiful. It just makes me feel like I am embodying it because you guys are fully embodied. I'm an activator. You can learn this information anywhere, but you chose to learn it with me. It's because your higher self orchestrated this. We were always going to have this meeting of the spirit mind because you were already on a divine appointment from yourself to meet yourself. And I was just the vessel that was going to help to activate you to get you there. So very, very beautiful. So we have to cleanse out the gut. It's all about the gut mind because we are going through a rebirth. If you can look back through all of the other videos, but everything kind of crescendos all together, guys. We are going through this death period, which kind of started when, the reality was ripped from us during the COVID timeline. And then we had Charlie Kirk, right? Thank you, Source, for the segue into this. We had a Charlie Kirk psyop situation, which, Charlie he put a tear into the reality, which, COVID already helped to kind of fracture in a way. But for the people that were still on the fence, if they thought that everything was still copacetic and everything was still good, Charlie Kirk's situation came and said, not so much. I'm going to put that soul tear into the collective so that we can wake up to the other energies that are around. Candace Owens played a part in that soul tear, right? Of us understanding, hey, something's not on the up and up with, this life that we're living. All of us here on social media, we've been adding to that. So yes, in a way, we've been creating a tear, but it's only to wake up the people to divine consciousness so that you can have your rebirth. That happens down in the sacral chakra. So you have to have your gut clear to be able to know when it is time to actually birth out. So simply put, now I understand why Source was nagging me for almost 2 years to do the cleanse. And now I know why I was able to last so long, because it was ordained, and you are ordained to do certain things. We don't have to rely on willpower alone. The willpower, that's just, within one of the chakras, right? We have access to so much of us that we do not use because humanity or life, they have separated everything. Where you have just, you got to go to the doctor for this. You got to go to the healer for this. You got to go to, no, everything's fragmented. All I'm trying to do is to tell you guys, you can come back into wholeness when you believe that you are large enough to hold the bandwidth of the frequencies. Okay. So now I want to go into the channel that, we did some time ago. We're talking about the Bohemian Grove. right? And where it's this, this place, and I don't even know why these grown men, it's supposed to be for men, but I saw Hillary Clinton there too. So it's just for men if you're like a lower level, sort of Mason. But, these elites of the elites, they are men and women, because a lot of these women we see aren't actual women, and a lot of the men we see aren't actually men. So you will see a collage of them in these spaces. But the question was, it felt very much like they were going to be eating Charlie Kirk, and today, I truly didn't come on here to do this. I truly just want it to be in such this good vibration. But something said to myself, look, this is Easter, right? Ishtar. This is Ishtar energy that we are in, right? And, Easter is all about the eggs, which is fertility, which is interesting that we're talking about the sacral chakra. And that there is a rebirth that needs to happen. But first, see, you're dead in the inside. That's what Source is saying. You're dead in the inside if your sacral chakra is blocked. If it's riddled in trauma templates and loops and siphons, right? Then, your Source is saying you're dead inside. And trust me, I'm getting access to this. You don't even realize the layers of healing. Because, you do all the spiritual healing, but wait, now I'm in the physical body. And so we can't leave the physical body out of our healing because you're 5 bodies of consciousness. So now that I'm in the physical body, I see how much more deep that there is to go. You might be like, oh, yep, I have all the spiritual stuff down. But baby, when you get into that physical body, baby, it is humbling. But it's beautiful. Because you start to sprout and learn so much. So a lot of people are dead inside and they don't know it, right? And so when we have the Bohemian Grove and we have the Easter or Ishtar festival, where they are looking for the walking dead. They're looking for their meal. A lot of us, we're already primed and on the grill. We don't even know we're on the grill because we're blocked. It's kind of crazy. And so that is what the Easter is for. Now, mind you, I am not taking away from how humanity has alchemized this, right? So if you're going to church tomorrow for Easter Sunday, that's fine. Kudos to you. Do what you feel that you need to do, because a lot of churches are very high vibrational. It's all about where you are in your journey, because you is all begins and ends with you. But the whole thing is Source is saying that some people are dead inside. So how are you gonna know that it's time to rebirth? Because we're in the contraction period, which we equate to the Satan energy, and which we can equate to kind of this death state. But then after death, the sun comes out again, or the Christ comes out again, and then we have a rebirth, right? So we are about to birth. But in order to birth, there has to be a death. There has to be a completion of the Satan energy. The Satan energy just comes to show you the dense parts of your field. Where are you dead inside, essentially? And then you have the rebirth. So that's just a little lesson from Source. Source is saying, don't be so dead inside that you miss the rebirth, because you're not engaging all of you, right? And some of our sacral chakra or our digestive system could be operating on a higher level to take in more light codes and consciousness to actually help us, because it helps us with the rebirth. So sacral chakra can help you with this rebirth that is happening. So going back to Charlie Kirk, what is happening right now during this time of Ishtar? This is the the kind of the occult behind the Easter, right? Your churches aren't celebrating in this way, but these elites at the Bohemian Grove and all around the world, and in their little tunnels and pockets of, a lot of these, I don't know, guys, a lot of these people were going underground. As I'm talking right now, they're showing up to me like snakes. Like they're in, snakes, they create holes in the ground and they just go down under and everything. That's what they're showing up to me as. I'm telling you, everything's not on the up and up. we're going through, okay, death that leads to rebirth. What do you think's happening to them when we rebirth? They die. That is coming up so clear in this moment. They die. And a lot of them are losing form. So as we spoke about last week, the Hoppers, the animated film, where they are putting the human consciousness into the bodies of animals, because like I said, they can't hold the larger form anymore. They have lost some of the bandwidth because you have awoken in consciousness. So now, right now in this moment, I'm seeing them literally like snakes in the ground. Like they are getting so weak. You guys are doing so good. You have no idea that we are winning this battle. We're absolutely winning the battle. I want to ground into some of these things that I do believe Charlie Kirk is showing up right now in this automatic drawing that I'd like to show you guys here really quickly. There's actually a few different faces kind of popping up. And let me see if I can go ahead and show this to you guys. 1 second. All right, cool. So, what's happening to Charlie Kirk in this moment? What is going on? So now we get the top part of the page. Already there's a lot of faces happening here. We get one face front and center. This reminds me of Charlie simply because I'm seeing the neckline here. And remember, it was all about cutting off the C1 vertebrae, disconnecting the atlas or the C1 vertebrae in the neck from the brain. They want us walking around like a chicken with our head cut off, right? They don't want you to get to your rebirth. This is why they disconnected his atlas. That was what the psyop was. It was an occult ritual to explain what it is that they would like to do to humanity. Guys, you would get these likes up and get these subscriptions up, baby. Subscribers, subscriptions. You know what I mean? Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. But this looks to be, Charlie Kirk. We got an eye here, an eye there, a little nose here. We got the mouth is kind of, just kind of. There really isn't an expression, but this does not look like a living person. And we've spoke about that, where he was living. He was part of the psyop, maybe because he had to be, but then ultimately they turned on him. And they felt that they wanted to start having a little nibble, kibbles and bits here and there, because they're trying to stay in power and in control. And every so often, they need to have a blood sacrifice. They need to, I spoke about this before. These beasts, these beings that are hiding in the bodies of the aristocrats and in the, royalty and even within presidents around the world. But what they are is they are entities that in this season, in order for them to remain in power, they must feast on flesh. They have to have it. It's no longer just good enough for them to have the blood. Eventually, they would need to eat the flesh. That came up. It was very clear about that. So this is kind of what they had planned for Charlie. This was unbeknownst to him, and probably unbeknownst to other people that may have been involved in this incident, but I don't think they understood the levels that these elites would go to. I think this is shocking for a lot of them. However, the entity inside of them is happy to feast. So, but I don't know. Are they feasting? We're just starting the channel. This is him, though. First thing I noticed, there is that hook here. We get this hook. And this hook here, let me see if I can circle it for you guys. So when we started to explore this hook in some of the other automatic drawings, it was bringing up an energy that I channel within the Cosmic Bible, which is the 5-night stampede. And the 5-night stampede are essentially, as Source clears the ego state from the higher within the cosmic sphere, it kind of falls down and it becomes a force of energy that cleanses up these lower realms. So when you see the hook, we can look at it like it's a Satan energy. Yes, because Satan is used for the contractional periods, right? But it is also a tool that source is using to remove the stagnant energy, the ones that can't move forward, because all the universe cares about is expansion. You know, we spoke about the 0 point energy that is forever growing. That's what's growing the universe. So it's essentially, it is, source has reserved a part of itself for the great expansion, literally, which is like kind of like dark matter in waiting, right? So that's what I want to explain that to you guys, but that is what's happening here. So this hook is connected somehow to him. Now, very interesting. There's a lot of activity happening in his brain. In his brain. And I don't think it's a coincidence that today's lesson in our class, where we were talking about the brain, how powerful it is, and how the certain parts of our brain, the anatomy in our brain, actually help us to take in consciousness, actually help us to grow our ESP and our intuition, actually help us to reach homeostasis. So now we have some sort of, maybe even something disconnecting face and neck from brain. So we get some activity happening in the brain. I'm going to explore that more. And then we have a hook here, something used to remove energy. Okay? Let's take a look. And if you notice, there's a separate consciousness in his brain. There is a separate consciousness in his brain. Okay? Also, too, right when I said that, I got like a pop in the base of my spine. Whatever this separate consciousness is, was either attached still or once was attached to the spinal column as well, spinal cord, spinal column. The separate consciousness for me is showing up on the left side of his brain when I look at it straight on. That's right there. That has an eye, a nose, and a mouth. This is left brain. Right? There's something else in the brain. Now, for me, left side is a little bit more dense. Not that it's necessarily dense, but it's a little bit more 3D, right? A little bit more grounded in reality. So it's a little bit more dense naturally than the light and airiness of the right brain. But there, I view it as a separate consciousness. So this could be someone was in his head, or is, okay, thank you. Someone was in his head, right? Well, let me make sure you guys can hear me okay? Okay, I'm just checking. Uh-oh. Grizzly sound. Okay, that's part of the channel. That's part of the channel. Okay, can you guys hear me now? So, hold on. I can't hear the static simply because I can't have the replay on. So if you guys hear static, then just let me know. But to the point, guys, when I'm a supernatural healer, you have to understand that all of this is, when I tell you I'm channeling something, when I tell you yeah, I'm present with the energies. So you have to know that if there's something going on, that's part of the channel. That's because that's the energy. So as we're talking about, are they eating Charlie Kirk? And if we're getting, someone said like grizzly sound or something. When we think about grizzly, what do we think? We think about eating. This is part of the channel. See, this is the difference between you being just a energy healer or psychic and being a quantum telepathic healer. That's the difference, where you got to be ready to step into this game, because all of this is data. It's because I'm ready for it. These things don't scare me. I understand that it's just usable energy for me to use to plug into my channel. Okay? Perfect. So that's interference. Obviously, because they don't want me. I was never coming on here to talk about Charlie Kirk. They don't want me to talk about this. They know who we are. They know exactly who we are. So let's move forward. And I'm almost wondering who is in his brain. There's a lot of faces popping up here. And I would not be surprised if we link this back to Erica Kirk in some way. There's a lot happening here. I want to show this face here. It's very interesting because this one looks female but doesn't look human. Okay. There's an energy down here. See these eyes? These aren't the eyes of human. Do you see this kind of, this is an alien. There's like this is a nose, right? It looks like an X, but no, I'm reading this. It's like a long, elongated nose. This is an alien, at best a gray, but this is a feminine alien. I'm using alien instead of extraterrestrial. It feels alien. There's another little hook here. And the energy's going down here. I don't know exactly what this is yet, but the interesting thing is somehow this thing, when the atlas was cut off from the neck, somehow now we get the beginning of this little extraterrestrial, or alien rather, and then we get, you know, the fracture in the neck here, because this line is not all the way congruent here, and then we get access to him, right? I don't know who this is yet, but this feels like a very feminine energy to me, and it feels like an alien energy to me, and it feels like it's placed here on purpose to gain access through the neck up here to the brain. Okay. There's someone cloaking in this field. Now, you guys have to understand something. Just because you pass away does not mean that life is still not lifing. Your DNA stays alive for hundreds of years. And in fact, in the last message where I got, you know, as I started to clear my gut, right? And I got a past life memory of myself as King Tut, right? And I watched a video and they excavated his tomb, and I had a visceral reaction in my body. And a lot of, they said what, 12, I'm not sure if it's 12 out of the 13 people that helped to excavate his remains, they passed away, right? And then Source gave me a whole channel about him, and he holds immortal codes. And I know exactly where those codes are located and what part of the body. So I'll be like, you know, trying to get more information about that. There's something hiding on the ground in this automatic drawing. Down here. Now, to you guys, you may not see it, but my spiritual eye sees it. This is an eye. That's an eye. This is like another, like, this isn't like almost like an eyelash. So like this one may be closed with like energy coming up here from the eyelash. But this one is like looks like a slit. This is a slit. So when we think about slit, oh boy, do we think about some form of reptilian. It's cloaking. When I talk about cloaking, this is what I'm talking about. I can pick up on energies that are cloaking, right? Through my hands, through just reading the energy, but I can also pick it up in the automatic drawing of what that looks like. You can't see the full form. There's a part of them that are hiding, and they're almost low to the ground, right? This is kind of the nose, and this is kind of the mouth, but they're kind of like hiding down on the ground, but you can see the one eye is open. And this would be on the left side as well. So who is eating Charlie Kirk? Like, there is a reptilian, you know, I don't know what level, draconian reptilian maybe, but that is ultimately who's on the foundation of this thing. And my lip here is getting numb right now. These are the things when you're a telepathic healer, you receive imprints. My lip is getting numb right now. And it just goes to show you, I said, who is eating Charlie Kirk? It is a reptilian, right? It is a reptilian. That is cloaking, by the way. One second. Something about, hold on. Now we do a little bit more psychic investigation work, and I want to ground into this. One second. Okay, so this burning sensation in your lips, this is going to be important. What does that mean spiritually? It could be a sign of suppressed emotions, intense energy shifts, or a need to reconsider how one is communicating. Sound familiar? They didn't like how Charlie Kirk was communicating. It was okay when he was all on, Israel this and Israel all of that. But the moment he started to just question, because he tried to just go by what he always said, question everything. But the moment he really started wising up to this, and he was having his own awakening, he was awakening about a lot of things. His fake marriage as well. He's coming into the gnosis that this sort of reincarnated soul that keeps taking these lifetimes with him is like a forever handler. You know what I mean, Erica Kirk? Like a forever handler. He was coming into the realization. He didn't go that deep yet, but had he still been, on the surface of the earth, he would have gotten that deep because he was highly spiritual. He thought that it was all about recognizing the patterns and all that left brain stuff, but what does it teach us? The laws of polarities. We will also experience the opposite polarity to the max. So that means that he already had the potentiality to experience the spiritual side of himself to that same degree, as smart as he was, with the masculine, recognizing all the patterns and things of that nature, right? So here's the thing. That's why my lips started buzzing, because they didn't like the way he was communicating, what he was saying. Who didn't like it? These reptilians didn't like it. Who are the reptilians? Every person that you see on the world stage. They didn't like that. And, hold on. Please like the video and subscribe, guys. Please. Thank you. And then we have to go back to ancient Mesopotamia, right? Going back to Ishtar, right? Goddess Ishtar. And it's all about, hold on, I'm bringing something up here. Let me ground into this. They didn't like the way he was speaking. And that's why they cut this off. Because you can't speak without your brain. That's kind of what we were learning in the class today. It's kind of weird how this is all flowing together. It's all kind of telepathic. Because you think with your brain, not just think with your brain. You have to breathe with your brain. You digest with your brain, right? All of your motor skills go through your brain. It is like the processing hub. So as he's speaking, where do you think that's coming from? To be able to even formulate all of what he was saying, that's coming from the brain. That's why they cut the atlas off. It's a ritual to teach other people. See, they don't want you being fully embodied. They want us fragmented. This was all a ritual to fragment humanity as a collective because he holds collective codes. All these people we see, they're holding collective codes because we're at the end of a template, right? We're scratched the bottom of the template, this end of the age sort of template that we're looking at. And so when we heal this, if he was able to rewrite this or to really truly expand and speak about Israel in the manner that I think he would grow into, it would change templates and whole timelines. So when I tell you guys, I see these elites now in like snake forms, they're belly dwellers. That's who they are. Gives a whole new meaning of the snake in the garden. It's like the snake destiny swapped. That's the vibe that I'm getting. The snake destiny swapped. So let me just stay here. Let me stay here. So he didn't like the way that he was speaking. And so I'm wondering, why now? What is it about Easter that they need to partake in this in this particular season? Okay, I'm getting heart energy, right? So, okay, because it's a judgment season. I don't know if it says this in any biblical text. I'm just telling you what I'm channeling. This season is a judgment season. And as of right now, it's like pouring down rain. It's a rainy season. And it's a rebirth season. And it's actually the new year. Come April 1st, we went into the actual year of whatever we believe it to be. Because I think the Ethiopian calendar, I think they're on 2018 or something. So they're in a whole nother timeline in us. But nevertheless, here's the thing. Why now? There's something about, Mayat, right? Weighing your heart on a scale, just to see, do you have anything any grievances you're holding? Is it light as a feather? It really means, like, is your conscience clear, right? There's something to do with that, of why this is happening at this time. Okay, I get it now. Thank you, Source. They were hoping to utilize Charlie Kirk to escape their, say trauma, but to escape their karma. He was once grafted in through sadistic ways. I'm channeling all of this. Through sadistic ways, possibly in a past life. It could be this lifetime, but I don't see him doing sadistic things in this life. And it's very interesting as we speak of Charlie Kirk being Chucky from the Child's Play movies that we've talked about, like 5 or 6 videos on this channel. Remember what happened to even get the Charles Lee Ray consciousness into the Chucky doll? It's because he was a serial killer and the police were coming, so he had to body hop into the Chucky doll to escape his karma. This is what I'm getting in this moment. That through sadistic ways, whether it's this life, another life, they had that soul, meaning the darkness. That was the darkness soul. Remember in the Chucky movie where the rule of engagement was the first person to find out the true origin about the Chucky doll, that it housed the consciousness of Charles Lee Ray. That the consciousness of Charles Lee Ray was allowed to body hop into that vessel. This is how we get Tyler Robinson. It's about to get deep. This is how we get Tyler Robinson. For a split moment, Charlie Kirk's consciousness was not just in Charlie Kirk, but it was also in the person that they said took him out, which we know that's not true because he didn't die that day. That was part of the psyop. But his consciousness was also in Tyler Robinson, because the rules of engagement in that Chucky movie was that the moment you find out who someone is, then you get to body hop. Charles Lee Ray gets to use that vessel as well. So let me not get off of the channel of what I'm saying. Let me ground back in here. So they had his soul under contract, under a blood oath, because he partook in sadistic things. And that could be dark, that could be gruesome, that could also be eating of the flesh. And, do I see him doing that in this life as Charlie? I don't. However, you don't truly know someone, but I don't feel like it was this lifetime. I feel that his soul has been under lock and key for a little bit of time, right? So he flipped the script. He starts speaking out. And so it fractured. He was in a violation of the contract that he took through sadistic ways and tendencies. And this is why they did what they did. It's a lot bigger than, it's not about the country Israel. It's bigger than that, guys. It's a coven. He was in a covenant with a coven. It's a lot bigger. So, I'm getting a lot of back pain right now. They don't definitely want me to speak about this. I keep losing my train of thought. And to the point, right, when you're cut off, when your atlas is cut off, right here in the neck, it's cut off from your brain. So you can't process. You can't process. So this is the energy that they wanted him to be under. And going back to the spinal column, I'm getting a lot of pain in my back right now. So whatever this thing was, this energy, you know, it's given a whole new meaning to Kundalini. Okay, are we going to go there, Source? Are we really going to go there? Are we going to go there? I think we should go there. See, I think they're doing another psyop on humanity, lying to us about the Kundalini energy, which is like the coiling of the snake. It's like a snake that coils up the spine. That's what they say that it is. And when it reaches what? The pineal gland, then boom, you have this like awakening, right? And now you're just fully embodied and, flooding with consciousness. Well, I think that they were the snake in the garden. Remember? We spoke about this. They were the snake in the garden. Now they're the snake in the spine. Mm-hmm. And the garden now is given here. Message. So they're the snake in the garden, here, the brain. And they're the snake in the spine. Very ancient part of our anatomy. Now, is there still Kundalini energy when you can master the 7 C's? Yes, but you know what I'm getting in this moment? Thank you, Charlie Soul, for allowing us to use this as a teaching moment. What I'm getting in this moment is that these are the things that they put in place to have access to your brain. Here's the thing. Your Kundalini energy is yours. But it's not a snake. It's your God state, your God self. It's masculine and feminine energy coming back into unison. Like this making love and then producing an air. Thank you, Source, for this beautiful channel. An outlet to even channel this. So thank you to YouTube. I'm just in a state of gratitude today. So that's what Kundalini is. It's your masculine and feminine energy making love to produce an air. They don't want you to produce an air. Another Christ consciousness to compete with. So these snakes, when you're lowered in frequency, when they keep you lowered in your lower chakras, in the trauma on replay, in the patterns, in the minutia, then they hitch a ride in the base of the spine, which they did to Charlie Kirk. And we found the snake in his garden down here. Down here, cloaking, reptilian cloaking. There's that eye right there. That's open, but this one's closed. It's hoping we don't spot it. But only we do. And now, if you're lowered in frequency, it can attach itself there to override your system, to almost produce a fake birthing. This is how a lot of people get involved in dark awakenings. I don't think I've ever spoken about this because I'm so much like in the light, I can't even fathom. But a lot of people have these dark awakenings where they start doing sacrifices and stuff on animals, and and all of their gifts is only for the dark. Like you've seen those people, like they say they're spiritual, but everything about them is dark. They're not balanced. They're only out of one, polarity. That's when the reptilian is attached to your energy at the base of your spine, right? If it doesn't produce you into balanced and wholeness, then baby, that's not the true Kundalini energy. That's just a reptilian hitched a ride and now is in the other garden, your brain. And baby, once they get into that garden, I've seen it one time in a session. This is a lot of information, so if you want to mute me on this, go for it. But I'm going to tell you what I saw one time in a session. Something said, check the back of the head. Almost like I felt like there was some metal plate stopping the flow of consciousness. When I opened it up, there was just cords in there. I'm talking maybe 50, 100 holes and cords plugged into the back of the brain. And it was like this. It was just a siphon fest. Just a siphon fest. And I got very angry at these beings. And the client believed it was them. It's not you. All of these different separate thoughts, not you. It's just separate things hooked in. They're like, we got a live one, guys. Come and feast on this good energy. Everybody plugs in. They all have a straw and they take a sip. And then you got so much activity, you don't know what's going on. This is how we say we got a legion, right? You got a legion of demons. It's not that. You just got everybody and their homies came over to suck the life force energy. Like they taking 40s to the head. Like that's what I'm saying. That's all that it was. The person had very potent energy. They were in the Garden of Eden. That's what I'm saying. So, this is why we do the clearing and the healing work. This is why the journey is deep. This is why the path is narrow. It's only for you. You bring someone else on this path with you, it becomes too wide. And then you get into the descending frequency and you end up right back there, falling down into the Satan vibration until the time where you get birthed out yet again. Okay? So that's a tidbit on what's happening, right? There's other faces here. Boy, there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. I can't do anything with the static. Do they want me saying this to you guys? No. So there may be static. There's nothing I can do about that and about them. See, that's the difference, guys. Most people would allow this to stop them. That's what they're hoping for. Let's cause an energetic disturbance because my vessel and my energy body is highly intuitive. Your body takes in, like I'm picking up on light and I am, through my brain and different bodies of consciousness, I am translating that. So my body is a transmitter and a receiver. Like this is when you're spiritual technology, human technology, this is how I use the bandwidth of myself. So those things will happen. They don't want me transmitting this information and turning it into usable light or consciousness for you guys. These are the things you will learn on your journey as a healer. That to most people, they'll be running away. That's the plan, to keep you out of your own garden. They want me to stop talking. Same thing with Charlie. That's why the loops were tingling. It's the same thing. So if you hitch a ride on every vibration, everything that's not working out, we will never get anywhere in life. You will be stuck in the same position if you let little agitations bother you. I will deliver this message, whether it's static, whether it's a grisly sound, whether this thing completely shuts down, I will deliver the message. I will receive and I will transmit, I will transmute, all of that. Do you see the difference? Because I'm fully embodied. where I know who I am, and I know that they lose. They are belly dwellers. They are now turning back into the snakes on the ground. They're being kicked out of our garden, is what I'm saying. That's the message. They want you to focus on the little things going wrong. They got you. And this is just a tip for life. If you can't sit in the stillness and let that bug buzz around your ear and all of that, go and practice in the wilderness. Practice that. If you can hold the vibration when the bees come around, and when the buzzards and all of that, the beetles, if you can hold that, then you can deal with this thing we call life. And this is the difference between the ones who get somewhere in life and the ones who don't. And it's not the government causing you this. It's not the family trauma, the family you grew up in. It's not the car that you did not have to get from point A to point B. It's not any of those things but you. I'm going to tell you a story really quickly. We're going to get back to you, Charlie, and the snake in the garden. I'm going to tell you a story because I feel that we need to learn this story. Once upon a time, I was fighting for my life. And I had entered into a spiritual season very, very long time ago. Oh boy, 18 years ago, 20 years ago. So it was a very long time ago. And I was called into a place just to restructure myself. And I didn't have a car to get to my job that I had because I needed this job so that I could implement the plan that Source had given to me. So I had to start at work at 6 a.m. But the bus line did not run until, I don't know, until like 5 something, right? So I devised a plan. I was like, I can walk this amount of time and then I can get on the bus, but I still won't be there by 6 unless I book it after that. So what I did was I started my journey around 4 in the morning. I walked for like an hour. Then I was able to get into the bus line. And then after that, I had to run, I think, 2 miles in order to make it there on time. I had to run 2 miles. So look what I had to do with my journey. I didn't say, oh, the bus line doesn't start until 5:30 or 5 o'clock or whatever. And I got to be at work at 6 and it's 2 hours away. I'll never make it. Oh, well, I guess I'll just sit here and not implement the source plan or the source codes. No. I said, we're going to get there by any means necessary. Did I care about the distraction, the snake in the garden, the lack of this and the lack of that? No, I flipped it around and I said, what do I have? I have my legs. What do I have? I have my mind. I have the ability to run. Hey, if I get off this bus and I run the 2 miles, I'm going to make it. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm going to tell you, right after that happened to me, I got clearance from Source, and I had to be in this space for only about 6 weeks. So it was only me doing this for 6 weeks where I heard the voice of Source. And Source said, leave now. Go back to California now. And it was at that point, the moment I heard that voice, within 24 hours, I had a bus ticket. What was it, a plane ticket or a bus? Baby, I ain't... Listen, money or no money, baby, I ain't never really been a bus person. I just haven't been. So I had a flight to California. The moment I got off of that flight, I was connected with an old college friend I went to film school with. He got me on a set. The moment I sat down to do this audience work, I was talking to the cameraman, the first assistant AC, I think, and we started talking in between takes. And we connected in a lot of different ways. And he's like, I have a job for you. I went from a person clapping in the audience on that show. This show was called, what was it called? Truth or Dare. They used to do the lie detector test. It was a reality TV show. They did the lie detector test to see if you're lying. Nevertheless, I was on that show. I went from clapping in the audience to now being on set. And everyone was wondering, how did you do it? How did you go from this side where we're all here and now you're inside of the set and you're working with the producers and the directors and whatever, how did you do it? Because I ran, because I had legs, because I walked at 4 a.m. in the morning, even though it was dangerous for a woman. Because I took the bus when most people, they'd be like, I'm not getting on the bus. I'm too good for the bus. I don't look good on the bus. Because I did all of that no one wanted to do. That is how I made it. So I say that to say, who cares about the static sound? You're not getting your snake into my garden. Will not happen. That's the moral of the story. That's the moral of the story. Oh, no. Susanna, I'm not coming down on you. This was a teachable moment. See, I use everything to explain. And I hope you guys get to show up in full embodiment. Trust me, this is a new thing for me. And, you know, I am who I am in every stage of my life. No matter what I have or what I don't have, you know. No matter of the situation I find myself in, I'm still me, right? And so this was a teachable moment, you know, for what is happening. They want to get their snake into your garden. That's the whole point of the message. They want to hijack, cut your atlas off so that you don't speak out. Because if you speak out, then they can't hide and cloak anymore. And then they can't hitch a ride onto some of your traumas and shut down your system. They'll cloak and give you a fake false system. And you think you're doing healing work over here. And meanwhile, they're only giving you access to like a little smithering part of yourself. And the rest of you is being hijacked because the communication from the spinal column and the brain, spinal cord, the brainstem and all of that, which we learned about in class today, all of this is working together and they're trying to keep you out of the garden. That's the whole point. They want to keep themselves there so that you don't access the very ancient part of your own human anatomy. And this is what they did with Charlie Kirk. This is the whole point. And the reptilian who is eating Charlie Kirk, it is the reptilians, right? Who are the reptilians? Every person you see on this world stage. That's who they are. But also, too, it looks like we have a feminine alien energy here that may be distorting everything. That may be, this is high level. This is not a regular feast. It's not a regular feast happening. Who's at the, I use Bohemian Grove, right? Because this is where the channel came from. Who's there? Who's there feasting and eating? We got aristocrats from around the world. We got presidents. We got different beings. It's not just humans there, guys. Because they want to partake in something very precious. They want to partake in the delicacies of the brain. And look, the brain, if you go back to one of my other automatic drawings, we opened this up before. It's been months since, I'm going to find it. It's been months since we did an automatic drawing on this. Months. And yet the brain is still fragmented. Even though I forgot, my memory's being jogged right now. There's another being cloaking, hanging from the alien. There's another being cloaking, hanging from the alien. Okay, that's the alien here. This thing here. I'm going to flip it over. This is a feminine alien here. There's something here cloaking. It's an eye, a mouth. See it? I'm going to get a pen. It's like this is a covering. That's an eye. little nose and mouth. Where's the other eye? This thing is cloaking too. This alien doesn't come by itself to eat. There's a lot of DNA meshing happening in this photo. You know, why do they need this stuff from Charlie? Because they need it for DNA. They need it for the other projects that they're doing. They're in labs. A little bit of DNA here. That's why they want you guys doing all of these DNA tests. They just trying to look for the right codes. That's it. That's it, and that's all. Okay? Please don't take any of this I'm saying the wrong way. All of this is in the spirit of teaching. All of this is in the spirit of teaching. I love you guys so much. Thank you very much for being here. But I have to tell you what I see of why they need access to the brain and other certain special parts is what I'm hearing. They are creating something, and it's lab grown. And I'm not going to say what I'm hearing, because we didn't want to go there. You see, these are two beings merged together. You guys may not see it, but I can see it with my spiritual eye. It's very clear. Okay? Now, on face value, you look at this thing, it may just look like someone with a big bulbous head. We might have like an eye here, or eyebrow, and then, you know, it just looks like it looks deformed. You got to understand, this thing is sitting on top of this alien, right? It's all connected. We got another face up here next to Charlie. Another face up here. There's an infraction on the eye. So there's kind of two eyes, but an infraction on this eye. Oh, actually, this eye, that eye, nose, an infraction possibly on the nose. You remember the nose that they were also eating? That has a line through it as well. That pop that came through very clearly. And then the mouth here. So we have this weird, this dualistic energy. This is Charlie. You see, this one is showing more emotion. This one is like in a deaf state. It just has one face because it's, you know, it's just in a deaf state. This one has active emotion. I believe that they've taken something from his brain to try to produce something else. Okay? Now you look down here. This is what they're trying to produce. They hybrids. Alien, human, hybrid. This is two faces together. They're not exactly, there's like one eye coming in this way, another eye from here. It's like two things they're trying to merge together. I'm reading this in my spiritual eye. They are trying to make hybrids. Half alien and half human. Taking some from Charlie, but here's the gag. They had to take something from Charlie's brain first in order to make this guy, which is still Charlie. They need him active. They don't need him in that deaf state. They have to get some of that DNA and spark into this guy that's active. This guy could be in a petri dish. This guy could be in a lab somewhere. I don't know. But somehow they were able to duplicate a death into someone that is still kind of Charlie, but that is animated still. They needed part of him animated to mix with this alien to create a hybrid. That is what they are doing. So really now becomes them not so much eating Charlie, even though I'm not even going to say that because that's nasty. The piece of Charlie that they ate is the genital. That's what I'm getting. And I'm so sorry if this is too much. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. But this is all about where it's bigger than his consciousness, guys. They're making hybrids. It's not about his consciousness in this. It's about using part of his brain to go into, because he had a very brilliant brain. We've called that since day one. To go into a hybrid race. This is what they're doing. during this time, during Ishtar, dealing with the eggs. See, they have to birth. They're not eating in this season like they normally would. They're creating the hybrid in this season, and that's what they're using Charlie Kirk's brain and his image and likeness for. That's what I'm getting. I know this is a, if you're not used to, being a quantum telepathic, like person where you can access energy from all different ways, this may be a little far out, but we've been spot on this whole time. You look back over the 100 videos that we've done in this series, it's been all the same. I've even waited months, and yet we're still getting this. But now we understand they're trying to make a hybrid, and that's why they needed Charlie gone. That wasn't part of the original plan. That's why they needed that. So the last thing I want to show you, because it's kind of trippy. So that's half of the face here for one face. And then this is the other, just like one little eye. But this is a part of the head here coming in. The other part here. To make a human alien hybrid. But at the base of it all, who's all behind this? Because this reptilian is falling down. It wants access back to the garden of humanity's collective energy. What does it need to do to gain access back? Because we have been defeating this energy. Oh, it has to create hybrid in order to get access back to the garden, because you have arisen in frequency. I would not be surprised, and I saw this the other day, those Cabbage Patch Kids that they used to create back in the day, every time there's a reset, they're coming back. I think we're going to a different timeline. I think the ones that are chosen and the ones that will move forward with the expansion, I think we will be in a different timeline. Within this timeline, they will bring back the Cabbage Patch Kids, but I think they come back as these hybrids instead. So the reseeding that they do, because they always need enough bots to mix in with us sparked souls, so that they make us look crazy for questioning the system, and then all of their bots, or the Cabbage Patch Kids that they used in the last, mud flood, was just with the program. They're just the NPC with the program. This time they're getting a little crafty because they have fallen, because you have awakened, right? And so that reptilian, it wants to get the snake back in the garden. It wants access back to your brain again. That's how they've been doing this whole thing. This is a pretty amazing channel, by the way. Thank you, Source. But this time they have to bring in extra help. So they've mixed in an alien species in with, in with human, and Charlie is their prototype. He's their prototype. So that is what is happening currently with Charlie Kirk. Okay. And do you guys want me to look for my other automatic drawings to show you that this popped up? The brain was being taken or eaten and suppressed in some way. I mean, it's literally, I think there was like 3 or 4 automatic drawings, and it all pointed towards this. So this is just a confirmation. Okay. All right. You're so welcome, guys. Just like the video and subscribe. Anytime when I start to teach, I'm just like, ooh, I'm just in the flow and the energy. And, it's like I can use everything for an example. And what's the point if we can't learn? It's not just to have our ears tickled and everyone's just doing mindless readings, but where's the growth? I'm here to help us ascend, because we truly are, the timelines are splitting. It is very obvious. These timelines are splitting. They are splitting. So guys, that is it. That is it. That is the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in to this vibration. I am looking. Okay, Austin says they want our connection to source. Yes, because remember, the whole point is to destiny swap, to switch. They're hoping that they can get on the new timeline. That when source returns, right? When the energy, when I told you guys about the vortex, when the energy returns after the ascending energy and the descending energy, then now source, right? The vibration is just holding all that up, and it bursts out again. They're hoping to just get mixed up in that, so they get a true birth. And then they just replace us forever. No. No. We're not falling for their games and their shenanigans. We're not falling for it. So yes, they absolutely want our connection to source, because they are hoping that they can get out of this part of the universe. They can't get out. Having access to source is the only way for them to expand. And that is something they have not been able to figure out how to do. And that's why they need to find the brilliant minds. That's why they need the GATE program, that Candace Owens and I think Charlie was in. They needed to isolate their people early. That's why I tell you, Candace Owens is an op. Even if she doesn't realize it, Charlie was an op. Even if he didn't know about it. They pick their people early. And they will keep you in whatever vibration that you're in until the time that you're a little bit weak and your number comes up. If you took anything, just like Charlie in the chocolate factory, if you took anything from the factory, that's what happened to Charlie. He took something from the factory, and because of the sadistic things that he took place in, knowingly or unknowingly, you have become one with this energy and enmeshed through quantum entanglement. You see what I'm saying? So if you took anything, give it back. If you took part in anything of hurting someone, rebuke that. Send them love and light. Cleanse yourself. Set your intentions to release that. It could be that simple, because we have self-correction technology built into us. But a lot of people don't want to forgive. If you forgive, it forgives the energy from following you. The darkness energy, everything ends and starts with you. If you are in unforgiveness and you have an attachment, well, that's why. We don't even have to, these things are very simple. They're elementary now. You have to make a physical change. You can't just go to healers all day long and think that you are absent from this. No. Everything begins and ends with you. We can show you the way. We can educate you. We can, we can give you the energy. We can open the chakras up. We can expand them. We can release. But you ultimately have to be the one that says, I am ready for this. I'm ready to hold the vibration. And when you're ready to do that, that is when you get the paradigm shift. Yep. That's when you get your new beginning. Thank you. Thank you guys so very much. I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Yeah, someone said, I'm so grateful you're sharing this knowledge. Guys, I love how I'm just tapping into sphere of consciousness a little bit more. And I was even thinking, like, I got to change my content. I'm growing. And so if I do a video like this, you're going to have to get the knowledge too. I'm not going to separate it, because I want to stay fully embodied. And I'm telling you, if you stay fully embodied, you can walk into any room, and whatever it is that business you have, whatever it is that you are, creating, everyone will want it when you're fully embodied. This is something I had to learn on my journey. That's why they want us fragmented, because you'd be too much power. You'd be too embodied. People would be too inspired. And take it from me, I know, because I had to fragment myself from most of my life. And it feels so much better being whole. And this is just my hope for everyone. This is why I love quantum healing, to make you whole again. With this energy, the potency of this energy, there isn't anything that you can't do. When you are embodied, you're fully embodied soul. You believe your technology. You believe in your system. It has been trialed and it has been proven true. That's where I am. I have been trialed and I have been proven true. This system works. This belief system works. It's not a belief system, it's a knowing, because I've done it and it works. Now you want to accomplish anything, embody it. There isn't a separation between you and anything that you want. When you embody it, it's yours. You have it. You are within the essence of it. Right? Authenticity is the key, in your opinion. Absolutely. Absolutely, Susanna. No, don't change your content. I love your channel. Oh, the way it is. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, like I said, I'm going to keep it the same, but you're going to get a teaching. You're going to receive a teaching because ultimately I'm here to help humanity expand. You know, we're at the end of the age portal and it's real. It's a split of a timeline. That's what's happening. These energies, they're going to be on they're on the death and destruction timeline. They are glitching out. They are cloaking themselves, trying to find a way to get back into the garden, you know. And, you know, unfortunately, Charlie Kirk was, he took this soul agreement through whatever activity he was involved in, knowingly or unknowingly. So, you're so welcome. So guys, I will say this. Thank you guys for being patient with me. When I'm teaching my class, I get so involved with my students and so I all of my attention goes there for like the time we're in classroom, the 6 weeks. And there's so much to prepare for, behind the scenes, So, within a few weeks, I will be back in full form, but that's just where my attention is right now. And aw, forgiveness is the key. Yes. Love is the way. Forgiveness is the key. And truth is the light that will always, always guide us home. You got it. Aw, you guys are very welcome. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I love you. I love you. I love you. And so it is as we walk together in divine love. Be well, guys.